Hey guys, just a quick explanation here. Me and a friend started a YouTube reaction channel a while back, but we both realized that neither one of us is really interested in the maintenance involved in a channel like that, so we just shut it down. But we did have one discussion that I was especially excited about, and I really wanted to put out there somewhere, so I figured I'd throw it on my channel. So that's all it is. Here you go.
All right, so we both just saw The Joker fairly recently. Left quite an impression, right?
Yep, certainly for myself. And I watched it with my brother like 3 or 4 times in theaters.
And that's how they hit the billion, okay.
Yes, we did our part to reach that $1 billion mark. We were determined to help and be part of that. But yeah, we were both blown away by it. We both loved it. And then I think you saw it recently on your own.
Yeah.
But you and me haven't had like an actual discussion on it. We talked briefly, but didn't really get into it.
Right.
And you had said, I think you had said there was only one part that you were particularly interested in discussing.
Yeah, and before we jump in, just going to be all kinds of spoilers in here. So if you haven't seen it yet, go do that first. Come back and
yeah,
right.
This is a full spoiler discussion.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump right to the epic major spoiler. Dude's raised by his mom. He takes care of her well into his 30s. It looks like maybe even close to 40. I don't know how old he's supposed to be exactly. And she's the villain. I mean, the movie sets things up to look like it's a one man raging against society and whatever, but that's all a smokescreen because she is directly responsible for him being the way he is and everything that's wrong with him. And in the end, he slays her like a dragon. It's gorgeous.
Pretty bad. Actually,
I've never seen a movie do that. I don't know.
Yeah, slay the actual dragon.
Yeah. Usually they have all these little sock puppets and metaphors and allegories. No, it's boom.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
Honestly, I'm glad you said that because that is one of the main points I was gonna make.
Okay.
It's like, because the thing is, I think there's a lot of people out there, and I would say the vast majority of people who see this movie aren't actually getting it.
No.
I don't think they actually understand what the movie's about.
Not even close.
Because what they do is they see... Because the memes tell me that. Because
yeah.
the memes are all like...
Dude, we're in Chile.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else knows about this, but in Chile, this has been a huge movie. And coincidentally or not, as soon as it came out, all these riots broke out in Chile, and the capital city, I mean, the metro stations were all burned out, major skyscrapers were burned down. There's this one building in Santiago that has all of the best music stores in it that I used to love to go to because they sell drums there and stuff. But that whole building, gone.
No.
Just gone. And everyone in those riots, they were putting on clown masks and dancing along as if they were in the Joker movie. And that is like, fuck, man, this...
Joker movie told me to set things on fire.
It was so weird. And of course, it had to have been a coincidence. You can't, like, coordinate that sort of thing.
I think that was happening anyway.
Yeah,
the civil unrest here was going to happen anyway,
exactly,
but it happened to coincide with that.
It was just an amazing coincidence that this movie happened to debut at that exact time.
Yeah. But no, it's like, even the memes beforehand were like, even before the movie came out, the memes were like, 1980s Joker, throw him into a vat of chemicals.
Right.
2019 Joker, throw him into a society. It's like, look guys, this movie is not a commentary on society.
No.
It's not a commentary on society. And they put elements in there like, there's the rich, there's a criminal underclass, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And there is this eat the rich sentiment among the underclass.
Yep.
Those things were put in place, but it wasn't really a commentary on... It's not actually a commentary on modern society.
Right.
It's depicting a fictional place called Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And Gotham is a shithole of a city.
Yep.
Okay, it's Chicago, but it's an exaggerated Chicago that's like a shithole of a city, corrupt to the core, and it's a place that breeds extremes. You know,
yeah.
So and so you have the super rich connected people, you have the criminal underclass, and that's the... my brother made a good point. The scene at the gate where he's meeting Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He loved that scene because the thought that came to him was
great.
Sons of Gotham.
Yeah.
These are the two sons of Gotham. Yeah, you're on each side of the fence,
Yep.
right? And this is the one extreme being the Joker who goes into criminal insanity that way. And then you have Batman who goes into this, actually a kind of warped morality. Like a morality that has rules that are kind of arbitrary, but he sticks to them.
Right.
He's like super strict and principled with his morals, even if they are kind of...
Order and chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Order, whether or not it's completely illogical.
Sure.
And just chaos or whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's like, that's the thing that no one seems to get, is like, they're not talking about society. Mm-hmm. They, as you just pointed out, they point out exactly what made Joker the Joker. Right. It's not society. It's the brain damage he got by getting the shit kicked out of him by the many boyfriends that this psycho bitch brought over and exposed her son to.
Yeah.
That's the villain. That's what made the Joker.
Right. That's
why he's brain damaged. There's so many other people where it's like, oh, the lesson of this movie is you better be nice to the mentally ill or they might murder you. Like, no.
But of course, half the people watching us right now think we're awful for saying this.
Oh, I know. We're Hitler and Goebbels over here.
Sure, yeah.
But, no, I'm sorry. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's not what the movie was about.
And I don't know if it was clever marketing or what, but all this hype around the incel movement or whatever, I mean, that was just... First of all, it worked. It stirred up the country and got the National Guard on alert and gave this movie so much free publicity. They had a $50-something million budget and they broke $1 billion. So, yeah.
Fantastic marketing strategy.
But, I mean, the idea that it was only going to resonate with the outcasts and the downtrodden and the underprivileged and that was nonsense. Everybody went to it. It's got, what, like 11 Oscar nominations or something like that. It did everything right, and it showed the rest of Hollywood, like, hey, guess what? You don't need a $200 million budget. You just need solid shit to work with. You need a good script. You need a damn fine actor. The rest pretty much does itself.
Yeah, you literally just need a decent director and a good writer. Like, that's all you really need to be able to pay for to make an amazing film.
The rest is so accessible now. Like, all the directors of photography, the cinematographers and stuff that are working in Hollywood today, they're all good. They all know how to do their craft. You just pick one.
Yeah.
You don't need, like, the perfect mod squad A-team or whatever. You just, you have a great script, great actor, a director that knows how to hold it together, and you're set.
You pick one and let him do his job.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hands up. Let him do his frickin' job and you'll make money.
Hands off, yep, exactly.
I loved the fact that their depiction of the Wayne family.
Definitely.
There's like, maybe Thomas Wayne was an asshole. Why couldn't he be an asshole?
Or
maybe
we see him at those moments now.
Yeah.
Because most people are like a mixed bag, right? They have their good days, they have their bad days, whatever. Everyone's a combination. Like, we only ever saw his good side, or his, his rose-colored glasses memories of childhood or whatever. But now it's like, oh, he's an actual human, he's got something to balance that out with, and it's okay to see it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, exactly. It's like, and maybe Wayne Enterprises, I mean, is it possible they were a little crony?
Sure.
Maybe there were some political ambitions there.
It would be weird if they weren't.
You run all the town's businesses and become the mayor. Like,
yeah.
Maybe 10-year-old Bruce's perspective on his dead father was slightly biased.
Right. Because kids don't understand how this stuff works.
No. Certainly, I understand it's taken some inspiration from some other films, but there's a reason I really don't think this is just like a remake of one of those. It's obviously, you're inspired by other themes and movies or whatever, but this is an origin story for a specific villain, namely the Joker. And this is why it's extra brilliant to me. Well, number one minor point is that in the comics and the shows, he always seems to have this endless army of goons.
Right.
And it's always kind of like, how does this happen,
Who's following him?
Right. But by the end, it gives an excellent explanation.
Yes,
it just kind of shows that he's not giving orders.
No.
He's not giving orders. He doesn't have a gang. It's not even a criminal gang that's following him. It's not like paramilitary guys he's paying.
People are just attaching themselves to him.
Yes, he's just kind of become this symbol, and he inspires the criminal underclass to do random chaotic shit.
Yeah.
And then showing a secondary effect of that was the murder of the Wayne family. Like, I mean, that was all just excellent. So an explanation for an army of goons was great. But here's the other thing, the most important thing. It is made very clear that Arthur doesn't understand comedy.
Right.
He doesn't understand humor.
He really wants to, but he just doesn't.
He studies it. He studies it like he's going to college.
Right.
He desperately wants to understand.
Yeah.
What comedy is. He sits there at a club and he's like writing everything down, like trying to analyze this.
Right.
What makes a good joke?
Right.
So, with that being said, what is a joke?
Oh man.
Like, if you're going to try and give a sort of a layman's definition of the basic components of a joke, what would you say it is?
I don't know, man. I'd have to think about that for a while.
Okay. Well, I'll give you what I would think of what I came up with. All right?
Okay.
So when you're telling a joke, usually you're telling like a story, or there's a setup.
Right.
And then there's a payoff or a punchline. Right?
So storytelling with an unexpected twist at the end, or...
Yes, a misdirection or a twist at the end, something unexpected at the end. And then in there, if it's connected correctly, there's humor in it that we understand and we laugh at, right? So, but here's the other thing: humor is something that's very intangible and almost undefinable. Kind of like it's a very human thing. It's almost like advanced language. Like
it's a universal language, yeah. Everyone laughs the same no matter what country you come from.
It's a universal human language.
Yeah.
And much like advanced language, it's like your brain either has a processor for that,
right,
or it doesn't.
Right.
Right? So humans understand humor, and we have a human interpreter, right?
Right.
So now Arthur had his humor interpreter broken.
Right.
So he literally cannot interpret the humorous part. So, with that being said, Arthur, if you're Arthur and you're studying what a joke is, and you remove the humor part, now what is a joke?
Yeah. Oh man. It's just,
if you go with what I just told you,
it's just storytelling. It's anecdotes.
With what? Specifically, what's a punchline now?
Exactly. I don't know. You're just following a formula, hoping that you get the same reaction that everyone else seems to get. How would you define it? I don't know.
So it's still a misdirect or an unexpected, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a joke is a setup with a misdirection. Now, if the humor doesn't even register, now a joke is just random.
Chaos.
It's chaos. It's random and it's nonsensical. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But then, and now it comes down to the critical line of the movie. I used to think my life was a tragedy.
Right.
Now I realize it was comedy. So when he comes to that realization, he realizes my entire life, my entire being is comedy. Because he doesn't understand all of the random, unexplainable shit that happens to him. He lives a life of like horrible, random, unexplainable shit happening to him.
Right.
He has the universe is just shitting on him. He has no explanation. Oh, that's comedy.
Right. Because
my life is the setup, and then all this shit that happens are just punchlines.
Right. And he's seeing everyone else react to the TV show or the comedy club or whatever. Oh, people laugh at this. This is funny. Okay, so having a comical life, that's not a bad thing.
Exactly. And the more shocking or like the more inappropriate or shocking the punchline is, the funnier the joke usually is. Well, what's more what's more shocking or inappropriate than just randomly stabbing a dude in the neck with a pair of scissors?
That was pretty funny.
You know, it was hilarious. No, the midget afterward.
Yes.
That was funny.
The door handle. Oh, God bless them.
It was so great. It was so great. But no, like, yeah, shocking violence, random chaos. And remember, he was also told by his batshit insane mother that his purpose on this earth
Was to make people happy.
was to spread joy and happiness.
Yes.
And he thought he would do that through comedy.
Right.
This is why
This is all her fault.
This is why this is a next
Yeah.
level genius origin story specifically for someone like the Joker.
It's perfect.
It
Yeah.
explains his absolute motivation down to the core as a villain. And honestly, I don't know if that was an intentional.
I don't know.
I have to think it was intentional. But intentional or otherwise, it's a next level of brilliance for this origin story.
And simple and real.
Yeah.
No vat of special magic chemicals or anything is necessary, you know?
Nope.
And
You just lose your humor interpreter, and now jokes are violence and chaos and horror.
so what sets one of these people that do exist with this same condition, what sets them apart from somebody who takes it and really leans into it like this particular character did? Because most people, they're told by their shrinks and everyone around them that there's something wrong with them, that they need to be on drugs to take the edge off or whatever. But this guy realized that this is actually my strength if I embrace it. Because for a while he was fighting it. But then funding was cut from the mental program and he was off his meds, and he took out those stockbroker dudes and he started to embrace it as, okay, this is just who I am, and it's kind of awesome. Right? So what does it take for somebody to get to that point where they are comfortable with the way they are and can embrace it and take it on as their identity, as an actual choice?
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple different things that would need to happen. Like, both your humor interpreter would need to be damaged, and your empathy would
Right.
have to be destroyed.
Right.
Both of those things would have to be destroyed at the same time. Because there's a lot of people who are kind of violent and zero empathy,
Sure.
but that doesn't mean they don't get humor.
Right.
You know, I think that's kind of the unique thing here.
It's just the right combination then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I kind of wonder if that's a thing. Like, are there people who genuinely cannot interpret humor?
I imagine it must be.
Yeah, just like that one specific thing they can't.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can't
know.
interpret.
I mean,
I mean-
there's people you meet all the time who seem to lack a sense of humor. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean they don't understand it and don't
Yeah.
feel it at all. It's
No, or I mean, there's humor they appreciate, but they just don't appreciate the most of it, or
Yeah.
what other people think. But yeah, this is a situation where it's like he literally cannot interpret humor at all.
right.
So that might not even be a thing. I don't know, but yeah, it's a unique set of circumstances, and in a fictional like extreme universe.
So can we safely say that Phoenix's Joker and Ledger's Joker are the same guy?
I mean, for the most part, one thing I really like about this is I don't think Phoenix's Joker has to conflict with any other Joker.
I don't think it does.
I think you could take him and make that the backstory for any of the Jokers you want to.
Right, and it was really nice the way that previous Jokers never gave us a straight answer about his origin.
Yeah.
He kept making up a bunch of bullshit stories depending on who he was talking to, and we were left wondering.
Yeah, even Ledger's Joker was like,
Yeah.
oh, we thought he'd give a backstory.
He gave several.
But then and it's like, oh, no, you're just being crazy.
Yeah,
Very well.
yeah.
You're just fucking with us.
Yeah, so this works great to fill in that gap.
Yeah.
Nice. I really hope they take a hint and make a whole bunch more stuff like this, because we kind of need it.
Yeah, last I heard, I think Phillips got into negotiations with the studios. He did walk away, I think, with the rights to 2 more characters.
Oh,
We don't know who they are,
Oh.
but there's 2 more DC characters he has the rights to now.
okay.
So, hands down, if they had any brains at all, they would have just immediately given him Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately given him Batman. But I know they
Sure.
didn't. I know that's
No.
not one of the characters they gave him. But, I mean, who knows? He's got 2 more characters. He could probably do a couple more brilliant things. All right.
All right, very good.
That's all I got.
Yeah, we'll jump back in the next time something like this grabs us. But in the meantime, take care.